Welcome. It's Thursday, Facebook Live. I'm Cristiano, CEO of Bold Worldwide. I am super pumped to chat about business, marketing, entrepreneurship, talk about getting outside of your comfort zone. I'll be right back in a minute. I'm going to make sure that I promo this on Instagram, make sure we get some more people over here. Hang on, let everybody know we're going live. All right, back in action here. Welcome to Bold Worldwide, Bold HQ here in New York City. So thankful for you joining today. I want to talk about a lot of stuff, right? There's been so much happening. First question before I jump into this. Did you watch last week's episode, Growing Bold episode 13 with Alex Rodriguez? Let me know. Hit me up, say yes, no. If you saw it, be honest. Let me know what you thought of it. I'm curious if you caught episode 13 with Alex Rodriguez, A-Rod. And then also curious if you caught episode 14. I'll roll a little clip in from that in a minute if you haven't caught it. We dropped that yesterday. Igor, what's happening, my man? Rich, welcome. Tracy, thank you so much for joining. It's Thursday. We're doing this. I want to make sure that as I grow, as I'm building Bold Worldwide, as I'm growing an audience, as I'm growing this company to 100 million and way beyond, that I continue to give back. Right? It's the reason, and I mentioned this in a post the other day, the reason that I do this, aside from obviously the marketing that comes around it, of course, that's a piece of it. But the real reason is that this is the stuff that I wish that existed when I was 16 years old and starting to produce skate videos and knew nothing about business. This is the type of content that I wish somebody else made and was accessible when I was 21, 22 years old and building my first production company, my first business. It's so easy now. All the information exists. I think there's good information out there. There's bad information, but it's accessible. And so what I want to make sure is that I'm not talking to you from some future pedestal downward. I'm taking you along for the journey, and I'm learning a lot of lessons along the way. Hopefully you are too through my journey. And if I can give something back to you that helps you a little bit, I'm looking back at my 20-year-old self, 22-year-old self and saying, hey, if I was on the other side of this camera, what's the stuff that I would need to know, would I want to know? And that's my MO. So thank you for tuning in, and awesome. No, it's our first episode. Awesome, very cool, very cool. Yes, it was great. Hey, Rod, yeah, man, great, awesome, cool. Yeah, episode 13 was really special. That was awesome. There's some bigger stuff in the works, by the way. Can't really talk about it right now, but there's some big stuff here at Bold Worldwide in the works that I'm hopeful that I can talk about in the semi-near future. Outside of that, it was interesting and challenging and difficult to come off of such a great episode with somebody as stature with A-Rod, Alex Rodriguez in episode 13, and then go to episode 14, kind of like a little bit back to reality, but at the same time, what I learned by spending time with Alex Rodriguez is just thinking so much bigger, pushing yourself, pushing myself, getting outside your comfort zone, always finding solutions to problems. Doesn't matter if you are an entrepreneur in marketing, if you are in sales, if you're running a company, if you're an intern at a company, doesn't matter where you are, you need to be an expert in problem solving. That's going to get you to levels that you've never imagined. And so that's always been my MO, but I think it's been very reinforced in the last, couple of months for me. And I actually posted below this, I believe, picture of me and Grant Cardone, and I went back and listened to a couple of the things he told me when I met with him. And he's like, you got to do it. You got to get the company to 100 million. If you really believe that you can do it, and he thought I can, and I believe, and I know I will, then you have to do it. You got to push yourself through walls. You got to bleed. You just got to make it happen. And that all comes back to problem solving. But at the end of the day, it's about getting outside of your comfort zone. And so episode 14, while a little bit different, a little more in the weeds and granular about my life, about Bold Worldwide, about growing a business, about entrepreneurship and storytelling and marketing, really what it comes down to is being authentic, telling a real story, be willing to be vulnerable, and be honest and be open and then problem solve. And sometimes you got to think really, really big. So I'm going to roll in a quick clip, about a minute or so, from Growing Bold episode 14. And just check it out. If you've seen it, awesome. Let me know what you think. If you haven't seen the episode, say no, because I want to keep tabs while you're watching this, who's seen it and who hasn't. We have to be there in 40 minutes.
No way you're going to get to JFK during rush hour.
And I have to finish this too. There's no way we're not making this flight. Fucking damn it. Give me 5 minutes. Give me 5 minutes. Yo! Peace out. Later. I got a shortcut. Wait, are you for real? Seriously? I think we're gonna make our flight.
That was sweet.
In the Bold Mobile edit bay in the skies.
I will edit all my madness.
Sweet.
We'll get this done.
All right, we'll get it there. We'll get it there. Good. Welcome to Seattle. So, little taste of episode 14, and that was a lot of fun. And if you haven't seen it, you got to go check it out. I'll make sure to drop the link after we wrap up this live session. But while it's fancy and cool and you know, obviously kind of awesome to be able to grab a chopper and be at JFK in less than 9 minutes, you know, I know I wouldn't have been able to do that 5 years ago, 10 years ago. I wouldn't have had access to the people, you know, that can make that happen so quickly. I wouldn't, you know, I wouldn't be in that circle at that time. I don't think I would have been thinking big enough to solve that problem. 5 years ago, I would have said, damn it, we're going to miss the last flight to Seattle. I pushed it too long. I don't know. I guess I'm going to have to send an email to my meetings and to the speaking engagement I have to do tomorrow and tell everybody I really apologize. That would have been my MO 7-8 years ago. But today, 2017, my you know, the way that I react to a situation like, dude, you missed the opportunity. You can't get to JFK. It's the last flight. You're not going to be there. You're going to miss your meeting in the morning. You're going to miss your keynote, your speech tomorrow afternoon in Seattle. I don't say no. I said, no, I'm not. We're going to get there. We're going to figure it out. And if it takes getting in a helicopter and getting to JFK, that's what we got to do, you know? And so it's regardless of, just use that as a metaphor, not like, obviously, you know, a helicopter's cool. Use that as a metaphor for whatever it is that you're trying to do. When you get a roadblock put in front of you that seems impossible to overcome, there's always an option. There's always a solution. There's always an option that's not, oh, well, I can't do anything more. What else can you do, right? Think outside of your comfort zone. Oh, well, I can't afford that. Okay, well, is the opportunity cost of not being in Seattle worth the cost of not taking a helicopter? I don't know, right? So you got to make those decisions for yourself. But the way I look at it is I want to make sure that I'm putting myself in the position to succeed, and I'm going to do whatever it takes to be successful, and I'm going to push myself through my comfort zone to where I'm uncomfortable as much as I can be. And then when I feel like I'm starting to get comfortable again, I'm going to push myself even further. And that's it. So, you know, for me, it's about staying outside your comfort zone, problem solving. Let's jump into some quick Q&A here. I'm going to pull up my phone. What questions do you have about business, entrepreneurship, or even growing bold or bold worldwide or myself? Total Q&A, anything that you want, drop it in here. I'm curious, what perspective can I give you? Because through my journey, when we were originally talking about doing this Growing Bold series, I was talking with Hank Norman and some other folks about, well, what is it going to be? Really, it was based on, hey, listen, there's a lot of people that, you know, write content, show videos, write books that have made it, right? Doing 100 million, billionaires, which is great. There's a lot to be learned from that, and I read those books. You know, and then there's a lot of people who haven't made it. They're in a WeWork, solo entrepreneur, pretending they've already made it, right? Like taking photos in front of Lamborghinis to make them seem like they are successful and giving people advice when they've never done it themselves. And you know, what I'm not seeing a lot of is the person or the people who have, quote, you know, made it, like successful business, dozens of employees, you know, big headquarter in New York City, doing it in the process of doing it with much bigger dreams. So a little closer to the beginning than past that finish line. And so for me, it was like, hey, through Growing Bold, I'm going to show you what I'm doing, my journey. Obviously, I get exposure marketing out of that. I mean, we're an ad agency, a media marketing company, so like we're living what we sell, what we do. But at the same time, you know, maybe there's something in my life that you can take, whether it's bigger or smaller, maybe, you know, wherever you are, and apply that to what is stopping you, or take something and learn from me. And so, you know, the helicopter thing's just a metaphor, like what is the thing that's stopping you? So let's jump in here and do a little Q&As here. Let me scroll up for a quick second. John, how can I get leads to contact for network marketing? By the way, the episode with Alex is 100% over the top. Thanks, John, for network marketing. Dude, just go in the forums, right? Get in Reddit, go to other network marketing websites. I don't know them off the top of my head. Ping people, send them emails, find out who the person is, right? Go follow, what's his name? Russell Brunson, right? Like he's in that world. Like go find out the people who are doing it well and the other people that are talking about it and go network, right? That's it. Just go network. Get in front of those people. Dennis, how much white monster does it take to get breakfast through the day? I feel like I saw 3 of them in episode 14. Good eye, Dennis, man. Yeah, I did have a few monster drinks in that episode. I'm actually not usually a fan of that, but that was a long stretch for me. There was a lot of travel before that, during that episode, and then following. So I was just getting any bit of caffeine that I could. Energy drinks, man. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do, even though it's probably not the healthiest or the best thing. Brian King, what percentage of monthly revenue should I spend on Facebook advertising? I don't want to give you a revenue target because honestly, that's very specific to your business. Because let's say you're a startup, you might take 30 or 40% of all of your revenue and put it into marketing. Let's say you're more established, you're a Fortune 100 company, Fortune 500. It might be 3, 4, 5%. And so really, I don't like to tie the amount of dollars that you're marketing with directly to your revenue. What I want to look at is what do you need to accomplish through your marketing, and what do you need to accomplish in your business, and how much money from a marketing perspective is it going to take you to get there? Let's start there. That's how I'm going to work. But as far as Facebook advertising, dude, the vast majority of your advertising dollars should be on Facebook / Instagram. Period. End of story. Even if you're Fortune 100, like go. We're going to look back on this time in 3 or 4 years and go like, man, that was cheap. Like right now, Facebook advertising is where Google AdWords was like 3 years in. And going back then when you could buy a great keyword for 15 cents that's now costing you $25, this is that 15-cent time for Facebook. Let's see. Darren, what is your honest opinion on traditional forms of sports sponsorship? What do you think the future mediums for teams can expose? Darren, for sports sponsorships, what I want to see what's successful is an integration, meaning I don't want to buy just a logo on a jersey. I don't want to buy a logo, you know, at the top of a stadium. That's useless for me. That's useless from a branding perspective. There's too much noise. No one's paying attention to it. What I want to do is how do I incorporate my brand or my brand's message with the actual game and or players themselves? How do I get a player to be a part of something that is very directly related to my brand and they're in it? So I don't want to buy advertising, you know, in a 30-second ad in the break during, you know, March Madness. What I want is I want something interactive during the game or being talked about during the game while people are actually watching. And then finding some way to cross that over to social and blow it up and propel it out of there. But I want to integrate with people because that's what you want. That's what I want. I want to be the brand that, you know, takes XYZ athlete and then tells their story through some, you know, social media mini doc series, and my brand is the one presenting it. That's what I want, because now you can't get rid of me, my brand, by fast forwarding, skipping, or ad blocking, because I'm a part of your story. That's what sports sponsorship should be and needs to be, and the successful brands that do that will be super successful in the future. Everyone else is going to get left behind. By the way, I appreciate. I don't usually ask for too much. I'm not selling anybody anything right now. If you like the information I'm giving you, if this is helpful, share the stream. Just do me the favor, share the stream. I'm trying to grow my audience. The faster I grow this, the bigger we get, the more people that get my content, the more I'm going to be able to do, right? And so if you do me the favor, if you find it valuable, share it. If you don't find it valuable, that's cool too. Back to the questions. David, what is your daily routine when it comes to positive affirmations? Do you dedicate a time during your day, or is it something you do throughout the day? I'm not so much into the positive affirmations thing, but I'll tell you what I do is, and I need to get better about doing it every single morning when I wake up. It's kind of, most of the time, maybe I get a couple days ahead and I realize, oh, I haven't done it in a while. What I do is I pull out the notes in my phone and I write down, I got this from GC, by the way, Grant Cardone, so I can't take credit for doing that, for coming up with this, but this is what I do. He says it works. I stuck with it. Dude, it's amazing. It really just changes your mindset. And what I do is I pull my notebook out, or my notes out, and I type up in there, not what I want to achieve, what I've already achieved. Meaning, I've built a $500 million media and marketing empire. Boom. Right? Or I am the owner of this, right? I have written a New York Times bestselling book. I have done X. I have done Y. My life is this, as if it's already happened. And then throughout my day, what that does, that gets me to, A, remember what my goals are, talk about them and write them down as if it's already happened yet, as if I've accomplished it. And then throughout my day, it gives me a reminder to say, okay, this decision you're making right now, are you making it with the Brian Cristiano of today right now, or are you making this decision as if you were already the person you're trying to become? Right? That's it. It gives you perspective. Jonathan, you're doing a lot online. What would you suggest we start doing as we start this journey? What's more impactful? Facebook Live, vlogs, short video clips? It can be overwhelming. Jonathan, what I say, and actually, if you're not following Hank Norman, go follow him on Twitter. He talks about a lot of this stuff. He is the expert in this. He's helped train me. I work with him. Go check out Hank Norman. But from my perspective and what I've learned from him is two things. One, don't overcomplicate the content at first. Just start doing it. Tell me your real story. And that might mean a quick 1 minute, 60-second, minute and a half little video clip that you post on social. That might mean you just typing up your thoughts and posting that out on social. The consistency and the volume is important for two reasons. One, because it gets you to do it. And two, you start getting feedback more quickly. I put out over 150 posts on Twitter every single week. And the reason that I do that, obviously, is for the volume and for the attention, because I'm in everyone's feed, right? It's overwhelming in Twitter, so I'm there all the time. That's one reason I do it. The other reason, and the more important reason, when I put out 150 tweets in a week, I get more data, more feedback than you when you put out 5 tweets in a week. So in 1 week, I learn what most people will take 6 months to learn. And then I see what people like, what they don't, what they, what landed with them, what didn't land with them, what they argued about, and then I adjust and adjust and adjust. You just got to start doing it. That's number one. And you got to do it consistently with volume. And number two is, until you get really good at telling your story, keep it short. Facebook Live turns into a ramble fest unless you have a reason to do it, and you have the charisma and the understanding of how to create pacing and how to tell a good story. Maybe you are great at telling a story. Maybe Facebook Live's your thing. I suggest using that as the next step once you start to build a community. Because if you jump on Facebook Live right now and you have no following and you get, your mom's the only person watching you, that's cool, but that's a lot of energy when you could have put out you could have put 3 or 4 60-second videos out today, out into the universe, and gotten more feedback. That's my suggestion on that. Bradley, what's up, man? How can I add more value to you and Bold? I don't know, man. We got to jump on a call, actually, man. Let's schedule that out. Let's jump on a call. Let's talk about it. Bradley, man, if you got, by the way, Bradley Denniston. Am I saying your last name right, man? Denniston. Anyway, Bradley, dude, amazing music producer out in LA. Good buddy of mine. He's actually done music for Growing Bold. So if you need music, you need a producer, you guys need audio, like real high-end stuff. Like I'm not like, hey, this guy's amateur. Dude, this guy's got a company that's also blowing up. That's why him and I are doing some business together and talking. If you guys need anything in that department, man, make sure you connect with Bradley. He is the man. Anthony, when trying to document and build a following, what is the best way to show my abilities without having to fund to have a constant videographer? Your phone, man. Dude, your phone right here. This is it. By the way, you like the bold, you like the bold thing on the back there? Dude, it's your phone. You don't need a videography team. Quality matters. And what I found was really lacking in the space of vlogs is like super high quality, like broadcast production quality. So that's what we're doing because, dude, that's what we do at Bold. So I'm also showcasing some of our services. For you, when you're starting out, don't try to jump to that stage yet. What's most important is your story and you connecting and building a community. There's plenty of people on YouTube that have millions of followers that just use a webcam and just use their iPhone. Start there. You're welcome, John. Kyle, do you think it's possible to build an ad agency with national clients from a small town? Yeah, of course. Look, there's a benefit to your location, but I don't think that in today's age, I have clients in states that, I barely ever go to, right? And so I think that it doesn't really matter. You can do business internationally from anywhere in the world now. Now, not every company is going to feel comfortable with that, but yeah, the answer is of course. Tiffany, will you be at the 10X conference in February? 100% I'll be at 10X. I was there last year. That's kind of one of the catalysts to kick this off. You want to know how much I like my boy GC just got this handy right there, right? I will be at 10X, so if you or anyone else is there, obviously don't try to plan it with me now. I don't even know what I'm doing tomorrow, but as we get closer to February, absolutely connect with me. I'd love to say hello, meet with some of you who are also big GC fans. Okay, Tasso, looking for specific social advertising opportunities that I can do to sell more of our quality outdoor games at tasso.com. Tasso, were you the guys that sent us some of those things here? Those fun things, by the way. Those were pretty cool. I was a little skeptical at first, but the team here has had fun with them if that was you guys. So thank you for that. Number one, so if that was you guys, keep doing that because it worked. No, number one. Number two, look, I think what you're going to have to do is figure out, I would do targeted Facebook ads to the demographic in which you're trying to sell. So I don't know if you're just trying to go like B2B or if you're trying to sell direct to consumer. If you're trying to sell D2C, direct to consumer, dude, you better start getting some Facebook ads up in the next few days. Like the next 2 weeks, you could probably sell many, many millions of dollars of your products if you are targeting the right people on Facebook because everybody's got their credit card out over the next 2 weeks. Okay. Tracy, I'm going bold in promoting myself and my nonprofit. Have you ever helped a nonprofit? Yes, we have. Do you think nonprofits should go big to shake off the quote, poor me syndrome and be bold about what's needed? Yeah, of course, Tracy. And yes, we've actually worked with many charities. We've done a bunch of stuff in Rockefeller Center with like 4 or 5 different charities here in New York City. Some charities that are close to me, the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation and a few others here. But what I would say is, yeah, why act small? While yes, your money and that you have to work with is typically relying on donations or other fundraising opportunities, the bigger you think, the bigger people you get in front of, and the more powerful your story, the more people you touch who just go, wow, I have to help. Dude, the money starts flowing in. It's just like sales in any other business. There's no difference. The only difference is your money's not going, back into profit. You're going to, to push your, to your charity and your voice. That's it. It's the same thing. Let's see, Jason, so should you do social marketing yourself or employ an agency to structure a strong funnel? Jason, it depends on your size, man. If you, and I don't want to put a dollar amount on it, right? But like, look, if you're spending a small amount of money and you can only do a few ads a couple times a year, you should learn to do it yourself. Or get somebody out of college who knows how to do it and can, come inside it, in-house and do it cheaply. The next level is then finding a freelancer who does it, who's good, but it's going to save you on cost. When you really need to blow it out and you are spending millions of dollars on advertising, you should go with an agency. The reason I say that, and I know some companies are like, oh, well, we need to do it in-house. The problem with doing it in-house, when you actually get big, and the reason ad agencies will always exist, at least the good ones that get it, is because you need that third-party perspective, where we're looking at data from multiple industries, many, many, many millions of dollars in aggregate every single month. And so we know what's going on. We're looking at trends. We can, we're aggregating that data. And so we're kind of looking at a 30,000-foot view where if you're just doing it in-house, the only stuff you know is the stuff you know. And the stuff that you don't know is probably the things that are going to have the biggest impact. It just depends on your size, man. Jay, in sales, how do you get prospects to see value in a relationship and network if they might not immediately see the value in your product? Why aren't they seeing the value in your product immediately? You need to get a better pitch or a better story or a better product if they aren't seeing value immediately. That's a problem. For me, if I didn't walk in the door in the first 10 minutes or get on a call in the first 10 minutes and someone isn't excited or at least intrigued by what we're doing here at Bold, then I need to fix my pitch. I need to fix my story. So you need to work on that, or maybe it's the product. I don't know what you're selling, but it's either the product or your story. That's it. End of story. Fix that first. Don't worry about the rest. Jordan, I'll be in New York, January. Do you have time to let follow see Bold office? Possibly. Give me a couple weeks, reach out to me. I have a new awesome assistant who's starting next week. Let her get up to speed. Then I'll be able to start taking a little bit more volume of those kind of requests. Right now, it's a little bit all over the place. Tasso, dude, hit me up, email me, DM me. We'll talk about that offline. Haley, with auto sales, how do you get connected with the community through Facebook and push our product while offering quality content that can get customer-based engaged? Love the Bold team. I want to know, okay, so if I'm going to buy a car, I want to know two things. One, I want to know I'm going to get a great, well, at least for me, I want to know I want to get a great service. I want to be treated well, professionally, and I want to know that I'm not going to get a runaround, whether I'm buying a car, servicing a car. That's me. I think that's probably a good generalization of the marketplace, but you should ask those questions and find out, are those the things that are important to your customers? If the answer is yes, and let's pretend it is, then I want to see that content. I want to see the things that you're doing for customers, going out of the way, driving the car, to drop it off somewhere. So I'm like, man, like I'll never get that service somewhere. I'll never get people that care that much. That's how you tell a story that'll get me to pay attention to what you do. Apply that to any business. Tracy, great example. Thank you. You're welcome. Rita, thank you very much. Glad it's helpful. Let's see. Patrick, what's your opinion on Amazon? They're taking over the world, and most retailers have no idea. They're too far behind. They'll never figure out how to catch up, and they're just going to get destroyed. But I would like to clarify when I say that, Amazon isn't putting anyone out of business. The businesses that are going out of business, the retailers, are because they have a failed business model and they have failed to adapt. Anyone could have became the next Amazon. Amazon became the next Amazon because no one else did it. No problem, Darren. Nelson, how do you see the future of marketing in 10 years, the impact that technology will have on marketing? 10 years is too far out for me. I just wouldn't plan or think that far ahead because too many things can change. But what I will say is you get 5 years, 10 years, 15 years down the road, technology is going to get better at giving us more accurate information and data. What I hope happens is that data and information gets interpreted better. Because the one thing that I see over and over again are businesses that want to see every possible metric, every possible KPI. And the reality is at the end of the day, if you're not really understanding what those mean and you're correlating the wrong things, you're reading the wrong language. And so what you think you're getting, what you think you're doing is irrelevant because you're interpreting it improperly. So I'm hopeful that as the data gets better, it gets more fine-tuned and deeper, that also the interpretation of that data gets better. And that's going to apply both to marketing, to sales, to online, to e-com, to apps, whatever the heck we're doing in 10 years. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap up in like 5 or 6 minutes here, so throw in any last minutes. Has this been helpful? Let me know if this has been helpful, because I want to make sure that as I do more and more of these, that it's worth it for your time. I know 30 minutes in the middle of the day, 40 minutes in the middle of the day is a lot to ask of you. So let me know if this is helpful. And also let me know, what can I do better? What can I do differently that would be more helpful to you to help you grow your business or do marketing? Let's see. Dirk, what are some of the first steps took you back in the day to shift from video to media producer to an agency model? The thing that took me from the production only model was we were doing a lot of business with the big ad agencies. We were a vendor. So we're doing production, we're doing mostly TV commercials, and I freaking hated it, man. There were so many people between us and the client, and usually the solution was really simple, something that could be fixed in an hour or two, but it would take weeks because you had to have 10 people discuss it, have board meetings about it, go back and forth and justify their position in their company and their hourly billings before the client sees it. And then when the client saw it, they liked the first thing we did anyway. And so I hated the inefficiencies. I saw what was starting to happen with digital and social back in 2009, and I was like, I don't know what's going to happen here. It's obviously starting to happen. It's starting to boil up a little bit, but I know this is going to be big. And so I said, look, we got to go direct to client. I'm tired of being a vendor. I want to be a partner of our clients. Let's see. Dennis, what do you think is the best length of a YouTube video regarding documenting a day? Depends, man, because, you know, we've actually tested different lengths of content at nauseum. And, you know, and sometimes, look, sometimes they're hits, sometimes they're not. If you read everything online, it'll tell you, oh, it has to be short. The shorter, the better. Our best performing videos, both on YouTube and Facebook, are over 8 minutes. And so that kind of contradicts what everyone says at large. And so, like, don't be afraid to go long. But what I would say is don't go long for the sake of going long. Only edit it as long as it needs to be to tell me your story and to get me hooked and interested and give me enough information to feel like I learned something. That's it. And if it's 60 seconds, great. If it's 60 minutes, great. But as soon as you start losing that quality and you aren't hitting on those levels for me, I'm out. That's it. It's simple. All right. Couple more here, couple more. Stephanie, hi Brian. As a business owner, I know you work with partners. What is the best advice convincing them and investing in a business and marketing? As a small business, every cent counts. So a lot of the time when your budget is short, money is tight to invest, and I see as a cost instead of an investment. What's your advice that do you have? You need to sell that it's an investment. Well, first of all, you got to be confident that what you're selling is an investment. If you believe that the marketing is going to take your business to another level in 6 months, in 12 months, and you're confident about it, then you need to paint that picture and sell me that. Because otherwise, and I see it too, especially small businesses look at marketing as an expense. The reality is, it is an expense if it doesn't do anything for you. Growing bold would be an expense if it wasn't getting business and deals in the door, which it is. And so while, you know, my accountant, who I don't know if he's watching the stream or not, why my accountant, when we first said we were gonna do this, like, you know, look, I wouldn't spend that kind of money. Maybe you could do it this way or this way. I said, nope, it's got to be this level. This is how we're going to do it, or we're not doing it at all. And he was like, you're crazy, man. I wouldn't spend that money. And I said, look, that's not what it's about. I said, because if we do this now, the ultimate outcome, 6 months, 12 months, 24 months from now, is going to be so much bigger than the short-term expense that it's worth it. He still didn't agree with me until maybe 4 or 5 episodes ago that he was like, all right, you were right. That's why I'm the accountant. That's why you're an entrepreneur, right? Nice logo placement. Thank you. Appreciate that. Bradley, see you guys there. Awesome. Dustin, which company or brand on the rise are you excited about? It's a good question, Dustin. Let me think about that for a second. Nothing really pops into my mind right now. I think from the digital or social media world, I'm waiting for the next one. I think everyone thought Snapchat was it. Maybe it is. I've said it wasn't forever, and I still don't think it is. So I'll be interested in what the next one is. I'm actually interested to see what Twitter does, even though obviously they're around for a long time. Other brands, I don't know. I'm really kind of looking at retail because I think some of the biggest players are not going to exist in a short period of time. And so who's going to become the next retailer, physical, but also online, where it doesn't cannibalize Amazon? I'm looking for that. I haven't seen it yet. Maybe somebody's got a suggestion here. And I'm probably forgetting like 10 great examples as soon as I sign off and be like, oh, I should have said that brand. But that's what I can think of for right now, man. Chris, is there any concern that agencies will slowly become obsolete with the latest DIY attitude on social media becomes more in the forefront? Yeah, for the agencies that can't drive results, they will all go out of business. Every single one of them, for sure. Dude, we're going to watch holding companies either go out of business or get really close to doing it. And the reason is because most advertising agencies just do this. Client says, hey, I've got this much money for marketing. And they go, great, thank you. What will you want to do with that? And they say, oh, let's do what we've always done. And they go, okay, great. And then they go do it. That is the vast majority of ad agencies, big and small. The ad agencies that will win, like Bold Worldwide, are the ad agencies that really understand that it is less about just taking that budget and just doing something with it and spending it for a quick buck. And it's more about, okay, we need to be more of a business consultancy and understand your business targets and goals. And then because we're marketing experts, how do we engineer a strategy and an execution that gets you those results and then actually deliver and measure that? Those agencies are going nowhere but up. Everyone else is going out of business, man. All right. Well, let me see one quick other one. Let's see. What size client do you work with? Sure, a lot of small business owners follow you. Unclear. Yeah, we typically work with clients that are doing like at the smallest tens and tens of millions of dollars in business, right? But doesn't mean we have some clients that are startups that it makes sense or that we've gotten creative with. But typically we work with more mid to larger size brands. Again, doesn't mean certain stuff's off the table, but just to kind of set that. It's not necessarily a cut and dry rule because there's a lot of things that we do for different brands. Listen, I got to jump off of here. I got to run into a next meeting. I'm also at 3 o'clock. I think it's 3 o'clock. Let me look here real quick. I'm going to be speaking at DigiMarkCon World, by the way, which has a digital. It's actually digital online at 3:15. You can't see that. That was a waste. At 3:15 today, DigiMarkCon World. If you head over there, I actually don't even know how much it takes to sign up. If you can just view it free, I'm not sure. But I'm going to be talking about digital media versus social media marketing. So I'm speaking there at 3:15 if you want to see some more in depth about digital and social media marketing. I'm going to be talking there. So anyway, I really appreciate your time. I know that it's valuable. I know it's the middle of the day. I hope that this was valuable for you. And if it was, all I ask is let me know if it was valuable and what you want more of. And if it wasn't valuable, tell me why not. And then if it was really valuable, share the stream because it's helpful for me. That's all I ask. Listen, thank you so much. Get out there, be bold, get outside of your comfort zone. Problem solve, go do it, don't wait. We're not guaranteed tomorrow. I'm Cristiano, CEO of Bold Worldwide. Thank you so much.